So a couple of days ago, I was made aware of this video by Prager U, and the thing about it is, I fucking hate Prager U. It's a fake ass university that has fake ass takes, and most of the people are just horrible. Now, I found this video by actually seeing a title of one of the Vasha streams, and I've been waiting to see this video because I want to react to it right now online with you guys for the first time. So let's see how bad they are.
The police are my friends, a senior citizen blurted out in the middle of a police community meeting I attended in the South Bronx. I've heard variations on this theme dozens of times from the law-abiding residents of high-crime communities.
Okay, so first of all, I think this, yeah, I still had this player on 1.5 speed. Wow, like somebody hit their double espresso, but let me just turn them down. Let's continue. But here's the thing, and this is a discussion I've been having with a couple of people frequently. Yes, there are individual cops that are your friends or that you know, but that says nothing about how fucked up the system actually is and what they're trained to believe. But let's continue.
These hardworking people don't loathe the police, quite the opposite. They understand what so many seem to have forgotten or never understood.
So, when people like me and others of my ilk actually start to say defund the police or all cops are bastards or ACAB and shit like that, we're not saying that each individual cop is a racist. We're not saying that each individual cop is bad. What we're saying is there is a system in place that allows for bad cops to go unpunished and good cops not to report it and fade into a wall of blue where they're either encouraged directly not to speak up or implied to if you don't speak up or else. And yo, that leads to some bad situations. But let's continue.
Police spend most of their time in minority communities, that is, mostly black communities, because that is where innocent people are most being hurt by violent street crime.
Okay, so this is one of the bullshit actually answers and reasons of this. If you're actively looking for crime, it's gonna be a reoccurring cycle where you're actively looking for crime and you're actively looking for crime in these areas, then you're gonna find more crime. I've said it before on videos. If they would have stopped motherfuckers on Wall Street doing the stop and fricks, the ones that had suits, briefcase, ties, and shit like that, they would have found a lot more than simple possession of weed. They would have found that good shit. But let's continue.
Put it plainly, police go where the crime is. In the 75 largest U.S. counties,
So another thing that kind of bothers me about that is these are usually the poorest neighborhood, and we have determined all of the evidence proves that the biggest determination of crime is poverty. People aren't just going out there killing people all willy nilly and shit. People are impoverished neighborhoods. People have no hope, and they don't think that they can actually get anywhere from where they're at right now. And so they do violent shit because one, they don't actually believe that there is any change in the future, and two, that this is the only way that I can actually get ahead because newsflash, working an honest 9 to 5 job fucks you over a lot. Can I get a witness?
about 60% of robbery and murder defendants are black, even though blacks comprise only 15% of the population.
Wow. This literally then went to 1350. They have literally in the first minute of the video, they went to 1350. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, the crime statistics, the 1350 whole meme and thought terminating cliche is to say 13% of the population commits 50% of the murders. And what they fail to realize, they say it's 13% of the population as far as African Americans of the overall population of the U.S. Of that, 50% of the arrests of murders. Now, not convictions, not pleas, not it's literally arrest data. And it doesn't single out for people who have been arrested more than once for a different crime. But let's continue.
In those counties. In New York City, blacks make up 73% of all shooting victims, though they are 23% of the city's population. In Chicago in 2016, there were 4,300 shooting victims, almost.
And again, what was happening in 2016? In 2016, there was a unprecedented amount of just economic downturn for the last 30 fucking years. People want to mention Chicago like the fuck, like I've lived in Chicago. I've lived in Chicago or the Chicagoland area my whole life. And what people don't want to realize is that a lot of things that happened in Chicago had to do with the fact that they literally tore down the projects and they dispersed people who were in one gang in one particular project and dispersed them across the city. And of course, that actually caused problems. And yes, Vegeta, I am watching a Prager U video, and yeah, she said blacks. Like the fuck. Anyway, the fact is, what they did in Chicago, the hollowing out of the middle class, where Chicago had a lot of factory jobs or a lot of union jobs, and that shit is going right now, man. But let's continue.
Almost all black. Among the 24 victims under the age of 12 was a 3-year-old shot on Father's Day who is now paralyzed for life, and a 10-year-old shot on Labor Day whose pancreas and spleen were ripped apart.
So, okay, I get it. You're appealing to emotions. I fucking get it. I fucking get it. You're appealing to emotions, and bravo you, bravo Prager U, because you are trying to just show that, hey, gun violence is bad. Cool, I give you that. Gun violence is bad. But the fact is, it's this weird thing that the right does. You can't. Why are you pointing out one particular person? Why are you pointing out this particular person? But they do the shit themselves. But let's continue.
This is the reality that police commanders in urban areas face every day. And every day they get calls from law-abiding citizens in high-crime neighborhoods begging for assistance. So are the...
Now, she doesn't actually say specifically what type of assistance. There are people that beg for assistance to just, I don't know, maybe their family member is having an episode and they just may need some assistance. But that's what cops are actually coming for. Like, it's no set, it's no determined factor that she's actually putting out there. She's like, well, people are calling cops because that's the only thing that's happened. And you saw it. Even in my interview with Dr. Shady Shay, we actually said it. They closed down so many mental health facilities. They closed down so many substance abuse facilities in Chicago. And of course, the crime rate skyrocketed because people have nothing else to turn or nowhere else to turn. But let's continue.
Police friend or foe? Are they engaging in an epidemic of deadly racist violence, as we so often hear? In 2019, the police killed 235 blacks, most of them armed or dangerous, out of 1,004 police shooting victims overall.
Now, notice if you didn't catch this, we're gonna actually go back for a second. So here's what she said. Now watch what she said.
In 2019, the police killed 235 blacks, most of them armed or dangerous, out of 1,004 police shooting victims overall.
Now, notice she actually only listed police shooting victims versus killed. And maybe that's supposed to be implied, but I don't trust shit that Prager U says, and even when they're telling direct facts. Now, here's the thing. If you're actually trying to say that, oh no, this didn't happen, what about the people who weren't killed by police? What about the people that were roughed up? What about the people that went to jail for only a charge of resisting arrest? No other fucking charge but resisting arrest. Is this the same thing? Like, for real. Like, what about those people that the cops just roughed them up a little bit? And most armed or dangerous? Would cops considered armed or dangerous? Is a lot fucking different from what the normal person considers armed and dangerous. Do you know? And this is a video I just shared, but this is not unusual from what I hear. They literally start the police academy off with, "Hey, cops can get murdered. You can get murdered as a cop doing this and that. You can get murdered as a cop doing this and that." And then they tell you, "Oh, you can actually use force this particular way." And you're gonna sit back and tell me that cops won't start seeing everybody as armed and dangerous? Get the fuck out of here.
That 25% ratio is actually less than what the black crime rate would predict, since police shootings are a function of the rate at which officers and
The fuck? What does she mean the black crime rate will predict? Like, did she just hear the fucking shit she just said? Less than what the black crime rate will predict. Oh, God. But let's continue.
encounter violent suspects. What about the unarmed victims of fatal police shootings? As of June 1st, 2020, the Washington Post's database of fatal police shootings in 2019 showed 9 unarmed black victims and 19 unarmed white victims of fatal police shootings. By comparison, about 7,500.
So, wait. Let's kind of go back there because I'm trying to fight for my life. So,
2019 showed 9 unarmed black victims and 19.
But here's the thing. Where this is too vague.
Unarmed white victims of fatal police shootings. By comparison, about.
So this is too fucking vague because I didn't hear what city.
Police shootings in 2019 showed 9 unarmed of fatal police shootings. As of June 1st, 2020, the Washington Post's database of fatal police shootings in 2019 showed 9 unarmed black.
Wait, how? I'm sorry. As of June 1st, June 1st of 2019, going back to the Washington Post, fucking, I don't know. Going back to the Washington Post of 2019, how the fuck do they, is that even a thing? How the fuck is that even a thing? Because basically what she just said was using the Washington Post database from 2019, where it dictated that only 9 people were shot. We know that's bullshit, and being shot or tasered and choked are different things, but you're still hurting unarmed black people. And to be honest, you like, is he on my team? Oh, he's on my team. To be honest, there should be no killing of unarmed people at all.
Black victims and 19 unarmed white victims of fatal police shootings. By comparison, about 7,500 blacks die of criminal homicide a year.
What the fuck with them casually saying 7,500 blacks? Like, the fuck?
You know about George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, but what about Tony Timpa?
I know they're not gonna bring up this dude that was literally shot when the cops were playing a deadly game of Simon Says, which people actually spoke up about as well. And by the way, Breonna Taylor, she didn't do shit wrong. Cops burst into her house as if they were robbing her, and then they started shooting kill.
In 2016, 3 Dallas police officers held the handcuffed Timpa, a white man, on the ground for 13 minutes with a knee to his back, while he pleaded for help. His death was ruled a homicide caused by the officer's physical restraint and by cocaine. The point here is not to justify police misconduct.
But that's what you just fucking did. Did she not just do that shit? What the fuck? Yeah, it is whataboutism. But what I don't get is the fact that she literally just actually this is the shit that Black Lives Matter is actually saying as well. That it should not be any cops fucking strangling people to death by kneeling on them. And surprise, surprise, they were immediately charged with murder. But when it's a black person, they can come up to your car door with guns drawn. And no, it's okay because they seem dangerous. Fuck out of here.
But to rebut the claim that questionable tactics occur only or even disproportionately in the case of black suspects. Indeed, it is premature to conclude that the killing of George Floyd was a product of racial animus at all.
But we have evidence of the shit. We actually know what the fuck happened. We know what happened. And we know specifically that the fucker who whatever the fucking name is, the cop, literally knew who George Floyd was and had an issue with him. Derek Chauvin, yeah.
As opposed to poor training and the officer's unfit temperament. Ideally, officers would take no one's life in the course of their duties. But in light of the number of arrests that officers make each year, around 10 million, and the number of deadly weapons attacks on officers, 27 a day, it is not clear.
The fuck? Okay. If the cops didn't want to actually, if they fear for their lives and much, and they were it's such a scary job, then these people shouldn't be fucking cops. They shouldn't be cops. I'm sorry. I have no sympathy at all for the shit. Because if they're so scared of, dying and shit, they shouldn't be cops. Well, let's continue.
That 1,000 civilian deaths, the vast majority occurring in the face of potentially deadly attack, show a law enforcement profession that is out of control. Can police methods be improved? Of course they can, with more hands-on tactical training, more practice in de-escalation, and better techniques to control stress. What won't help is defunding police agencies. Officers in
Okay, so it's kind of a misnomer to say defund the police, where people actually think that it's about actually taking all the money out of fucking police officers, out of the police department. No one wants a world with no cops. That's a fucking straw man, and you fucking know it. What we want is better trained police officers and cops who actually would be able to, and cops who actually, I do not know. Okay, hold. Oh, that's how I put guns. But cops who can actually do the job better training, and stop giving motherfucking military equipment to cops. But let's continue.
depleted departments who cannot get backup when they face dangerous suspects will be even more stressed out and more at risk of making bad decisions.
So here's the thing, and this is one of the things that I fucking hate, because there's this whole perception that a certain type of person, big and scary, are dangerous even without weapons. There is a perception that no matter how frail and small you look, if you have a specific skin condition, you are dangerous in some kind of way. But they don't say that.
Response times will increase. Cash-starved agencies will train less, not more. If the goal is to reduce crime, shifting police funding to social services is also a mistake. For decades, New York City was spending 1/7 of all government welfare dollars in America. Yet crime started falling in the city only when the NYPD adopted the data-driven policing that has now become.
Okay, so the whole thing about data-driven police, yes, data does help. It does help a lot. And the thing about it is, yes, it should be some issue. There are pieces of information that actually help with policing. But that wasn't the only reason why crime dropped. Literally, crime dropped across the board for over the course of the 90s. Maybe it was that we took the fucking, maybe because we took the lead out of the, maybe because we took the lead out of the gasolines, and maybe because we had just better standards of, I don't know, better standards of living, which caused more people to live in less poverty in most cases. And maybe because we actually, had a different outlook of what we had in the 80s. But crime fucking dropped. And it has dropped precipitously over the last fucking decade or so. Last 30 years or so. But let's continue.
Become the norm across the country, sending officers to the areas where they are most needed. That norm is now threatened. Sure, there are bad cops of all races who must be removed. That is true of every profession and always will be.
Exactly, Wajida. We should deal with poverty because that's the biggest determinant factor of crime. But let's continue.
But so is this. The overwhelming majority of officers are motivated by a desire to help the most vulnerable among us. Police are not the problem. Race.
First of all, police actually help with the fucking capitalist state. Capitalism is a problem. And she's about to say some big bullshit here.
Racism is not the problem.
The fuck is not? There is a systematic racism that is built into the fabric of this country that individual cops don't have to be racist. But the racism that you actually see built into the system, where 3-strike laws, or where you have law enforcement in certain particular areas because those people just love breaking the law, that is fucking racism. Oh, it's more crime in this area, so we need to police this. Well, who lives in this area? Well, mostly brown people and poor people. That is literally systemic racism in of a nutshell, where somebody doesn't have to be racist to enforce racist policies. But let's continue.
Crime is the problem. The law-abiding citizens of high-crime communities, the ones who will pay the price of a diminished police.
So, how do you fix a crime problem? Please, Prager U, tell me how to fix a crime problem. Because we know what fixes a crime problem. It's increasing taxes on the fucking wealthy so we can actually pay for more social services. You know, making sure people have health and mental health facilities. Making sure that people are have a stronger social safety net. But let's continue.
Police presence, get it. If you believe that all Black lives matter, you should too. I'm Heather McDonald, Senior Fellow at the Manhattan Institute for Prager University.
I mean, like, she looks like her skin has been pulled back. Like, the fuck? Like, she doesn't look fucking human. Well, she's doing a Prager U video, so of course she wouldn't be human. But let's continue.
This video was
all right. So yeah, no, no, that was just